Hello. Hi. Again, this would be my third attempt at trying to start this podcast. It's clearly going well. So, I am Jeska, the opposite of Noska. Such kind parents. And I love to knit and sew and bake and generally enhance my life with pretty things, some of which I wanted to share with you all. Why does the world need another knitting podcast? It doesn't, but I figure I get a lot out of other people's knitting podcasts, so perhaps you might get something out of this. So, the tea, it's all about tea, back to front, tea, chai, in a beverage container of my own making. I am obviously based in the UK, in Royal Tunbridge Wells, and I have 2 daughters, one of whom knits, yay, and a husband who is tolerant of the knitting. So where to begin? I did write notes. Can't tell though. So I've been knitting for 32 years, on and off. I learned at primary school, and every now and again in life I used to go back to knitting, knit a pair of socks, say, or a scarf, or an ill-advised something or other. But then I'd sort of, leave it, think, too busy for knitting, until I found Ravelry and fancy stuff, and there you have it. So the obsession began. I like to knit all kinds of things. I'm not very good at finishing things, but I finished some stuff, so I'll get right into that. How about it? So this is a shawl. It's a Crazy Days shawl by my very sweet and very lovely, not in real life friend, Julia, of the Happy Knitting podcast, also known as Wupfi on Ravelry. It's made out of Hedgehog fibres in Frisbee and some really, really, really old unicorn yarn when Fibre Spates and the Natural Dye Studio ran a club where you could choose from either one of them something dyed by them, obviously, but you didn't know what the yarn was. That was the whole point. It was a mystery unicorn. I can't actually remember what it's made out of. I think it's got camel in it and exciting things. It's very soft. Got some long hairs, not my own, from the wool. So that was fun to knit. Julia has only just recently released this, and I gotta say, really quick, fun, satisfying knit. Not a lot else to say. It's comfy, hedgehog fibres, so lovely. It's all good. I have recently become obsessed with sock knitting, having had quite a few failures, epic or otherwise. But I knit these out of West Yorkshire Spinners. Get the tag all ready for you. Anyway, it's the, oh look, here it is. Ha! All going to be backwards. Don't know how to fix that yet. Not in front of my face either. Anyway, so it's the Goldfinch colourway. My first ever 2 at a time socks, thanks to Mina of the Knitting Expat podcast. I've been living under a log for the last 5 years of my knitting life, and this past summer I discovered podcasts. Oops. Not a good thing for an addictive personality. So anyway, 2x2 rib, fish lips kiss heel on sock blockers that my mother-in-law bought me. Need a bit of filing. Fish lips kiss heel on 2.25 needles, magic loop, first time ever magic looping successfully, 2 at a time. I've got a pair of socks. It's fantastic. Kind of fiddly. Not how I'm going to knit every single pair of socks, but it was fun. So that was that. So finished object 1, finished object 2. Talked about the tea, about the cup. Excuse me. What are the other finished objects? I think that might be all I'm going to show you for finished objects. Oh, apart from that, which is a Highland Peaks shawl in worsted weight by Mina. Again, I test knit it. It was really good fun. I've never made a worsted weight shawl. Really enjoyed it. So cushy and cosy. Not out of anything particularly fancy because I would be very virtuous stash diving. So it's Cascade 220 in grey. The orange is, in fact, I'm talking about it, you might as well look at it. Hang on. Okay. Doesn't need to be on a hanger. There you have it. So the grey is Cascade, the orange is Malabrigo worsted in Cinnabar, and has these hints of coral in it that you can't see in this light, even though I'm right by a window. And something called Barocco Boboli. Never heard of it. Bought it whilst on holiday in Canada. It's alright. Made a pretty shawl. Very comfy. So there you go, 3 finished objects. Now, works in progress. This is what you're holding me to. Why I've started the podcast. If anyone watches this, you are holding me accountable. My basket of works in progress. Judge me. Judge me bad. It's awful. I'm not going to show you all of them. Maybe once every podcast, I'm going to show you one and you're going to help me finish it. Because I've told you about it, so then I'll have to show you that I've finished it. So the first one has been in progress for 3 years. The shame. Anyhow, it is this, the Morganite from Pom Pom Autumn 2013, which proves it's been underway for a very long time. I'm making it out of, I don't know how to fix the backwards yet, Juliaceline Millis in Obscurity or Obscurite, depending on whether we're going to be talking Quebecois or just plain old English. It's 100% superwash merino. And that's really all I have to say about it, other than the fact that it's beautiful, beautiful stuff. And I wish that she was easier to get hold of here. Ready? Inside out's not good. So, that's a pretty good reflection of the colour. And there's the pattern. You may notice it's vaguely see-through. It's because it's not the right way to wool for the pattern. Yarn, yarn, not wool, yarn. Must be careful. And the reason why I've ground to a halt on it is it's hard. It's really hard. So it's lacy, it has raglan decreases that you have to figure out into the lace. The instructions are good, not adequate for someone like me who likes to be told kind of how it's supposed to work. But anyway, so we've made a contract, gonna finish it. I'm knitting this on some kind of needle. 4.5. Let's go for it. I'm going to say they're 4.5. They look kind of 4.5-ish. Is that how you're supposed to show them? I don't know. Anyway, circular needles, interchangeables, Knit Pro, Symphony. So there you have it. That's what the yarn looks like in its horribly messy state. So, next time I podcast, if there is a next time, this will be finished. I promise. My next work in progress. In my the 4 Knits project bag that I got in a swap with Lara. I felt very guilty because I think I shortchanged her in this swap, but hey, wasn't with intention. And I love this bag. I hope she loves the bag she got too. Yellow lining. Beautiful. So, onto the pile of whips it goes. Can you guess what it is yet? Yep, it's a doodler. I've doodled myself into a corner. It's too much. It's too much knitting. Anyhow, so it's in Bärenwolle, the lovely Vicky from Germany, in her poet colourway. I think it's the sock, barefoot sock. And the cable is in John Arbon, some kind of sock yarn. I think it's called Midnight, the colour. My third colour God, it looks so dusty. Anyway, so I think that's going to be good if I ever get to the really, really long bits. That way. So my other work in progress is a pair of socks. Not magic looping, not 2 at a time. I have a hoe, is that what we call it? One sock. I have one sock, and this is in Shibot Garner in the Plätzchen colourway, which means cookies. I cast this on for the Little Bobbins Knits, so many so's. Christmas Eve cast on. Knit along, cast on. You know what I mean. And I knit this on the world's smallest needles. World's smallest, hardest needles. Size 2mm. Knit Pro Zings. They're pink. Oops, sorry. I'm not in love, and I don't know why. I don't know whether it's because they're small, whether they're really hard, inflexible. They make my finger hurt here. I want to love them. They're also slightly blunt, which is fine. I'm not a massive fan. Maybe it's just the size 2s. Anyhow. Oh yeah. And the blue toe in my first Regia. Whatever colour. Some kind of blue. I should know. Can I find the information for you? Oh no, but I can find that one. It's all backwards. So it's bot socks. There you go. Right. Oh, in my Moomin bag. And here is the other one. Just about to start the heel flap. Funny story. Started the heel flap on this one whilst watching the special episode of Sherlock, where we all got to play around in his mind palace. And I wasn't really paying attention. I was too busy in the mind palace, and I did nearly the entire heel flap inside out. Oops. Anyhow, turned out okay. So that's where I'm at with those. Hopefully have those finished soon. I should probably say I made the project bag myself. I have an Etsy shop, Knitgizmomakes, which I started last September with some encouragement from a few of you lovely, lovely people that I've met in this podcasting world, and I really, really appreciate it. So thank you, Lara of the Fawn Knits, and thank you also to Nessa of the Kilter Craft podcast, both of whom have been really, really lovely to me. My final work in progress. In another Moomin bag. Sorry, love Moomins. This one didn't make it into the shop. So I all thought I really would like to cast on the Waiting for Rain shawl. I obviously like shawls. I consider myself to be, after 32 years, a reasonably proficient knitter. I'm stuck. I can show you where I'm at. I can tell you what I'm knitting it out of. That's all I can tell you. So, it's the Wool Barn Silk Sock in the Eden colourway, which is a really beautiful pale mint, and it was gorgeous. Shiny, soft, lovely. And the lace bits, if I ever get to figure out how to do these short row turns on this particular pattern, will be Quince & Co. Piper. and this is the Longhorn colourway, cream, which I bought on my latest pilgrimage. Timing myself for 20 minutes. On my latest pilgrimage to Loop in London, which originally was right around the corner from the house I grew up in. Shucks. Anyhow, so I think they're going to look beautiful. When I finally figure out how to do the short rows. So hopefully, if there is an episode 2, I'll be able to show you something beautiful, cloud-like, lacy and wondrous. So, stash enhancement, acquisitions, wool piggery, whatever you want to call it. I have some. So, I've already mentioned Lara several times from The Fawn and the Fox. She's just started dyeing yarn and she's really good at it. So, I treated myself to this beautiful, beautiful skein of her fawn base, which is an MCN in the Jitterbug perfume colourway. It came yesterday. I would have podcast yesterday. I had to go to Costco. Anyway, so there you have it. Soft, lush, the colours, I mean, I can't get over it. It's not really doing this justice. This is the best way to show it. This up here, this kind of blue, and it turns into this amazing violet, pale, pale violet. It's just beautiful. And I cannot wait to knit something gorgeous with it. I don't think I want it to be socks. I don't want anything to spoil my view of this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful yarn. Probably going to be a cowl scarf thing. Possibly might just sleep with it. So that was a very good day yesterday. Very, very good. My other acquisition, apart from the Quince & Co Piper from Loop, I also treated myself to some Tosh Merino Light, which clashes quite hideously with my shawl, but it is, oh, we're supposed to be doing this now, aren't we? I notice everyone doing this sort of thing. I've got to keep up with the times. It's in the London Cosmopolitan way, colourway. English, come on now. And that's not a true reflection of its colour at all. That's a bit better. Who knew that really works? It's kind of, it looks like a tequila sunrise in yarn format. It's got pink, orangey, yellow. Oh, it's just beautiful. I have no idea what this is going to become. I just like it. So that's it for acquisitions. I have one other thing that is, I want to say needle adjacent, is that what we're calling it? I'm probably going to cast, well, I've cast it on, probably going to knit on it. Oh, another bag. I love this bag. Look, so pretty. Oh, there's a mouse. Oh no, it's a bear. What is it? it's a baby bear. Anyway, very pretty. I bought some Hedgehog fibres in the mulberry colourway. Colourway from a yarn story, a very lovely shop in Bath that I've never been to. I've only ever seen them at shows and bought online. Lovely. Lovely things, lovely lady, lovely service. Can't recommend it highly enough. Anyway, 2 at a time. Oh, on my other acquisition, which is an Addy lace circular fixed 2.5mm. Loop sells these as sock rockets. Everyone else's sock rockets seem to have a blue cord. These have a red cord. I don't know. Anyway, so I cast on my stitches. Oh, good lord. To do my first cuff for 2 at a time socks. I'm most likely to do a twisted rib because I love it. And that's all I have to say about that. Until I resolve the frustration with the waiting for rain shawl. What am I going to knit at? Oh yes, the cardigan. Okay, so I think I've waffled on quite a lot and in a very unprofessional way. I had it all set up in my mind, you guys. It was going to be much slicker than this. But it's nerve-wracking. Not the talking to myself part. I do that all the time. I have 2 children. I talk to myself all day. And I work with children. So I may as well be talking to myself all day. Excuse me. I should mention, I painted this mug whilst in the midst of dieting, which clearly is going really, really well. So this is the naughty side. This is the good side. It says yum, not moi. Anyway, I like this mug. And to treat myself for finally, after quite a few months of thinking about this, sitting down to record. It's awful, granted. It may not see the light of day. But at least I tried. I've just noticed my eyebrows been doing a weird thing the whole time. Anyway, the payoff to go to Costco yesterday with my lovely 2 children was Krispy Kreme donuts. Who wouldn't want to eat that? So that's my treat. Why have I started a podcast? I probably should have done that bit at the beginning. I'm all about the backwards. Doing everything wrong. So, as I said, I've recently discovered podcasts. And I can't even begin to tell you how much I love them. I love finishing work, collecting my children from school, coming home, they often play Lego. It's fabulous. And I watch a podcast and knit. And since I haven't been running this past year, just the relaxation has been amazing. I don't know, where was I hiding them? What was I thinking? Why wasn't I watching them before? I was clearly hidden under a log. So I do have a knitting group here locally. I make them meet in my local pub. You've got to have a drink. I drink ale, which to those of you elsewhere other than England, we call it bitter here. I think in America you call it pale ale. In Canada, I don't know what you call it in Canada actually. I don't think I've ever drunk it when I've gone home. Home. It's not really home. Home. It's not really home. I was born there, but it's not really home. I don't remember living there. Anyway, I digress. So ale, lovely. Beer, very, very, very good. Gin and tonic. There's not really a podcast about drinking. That's bad. Maybe I'll edit that out. Anyway, so I have a knitting group. I make them meet at the pub. I drink and knit. Doesn't always work out terribly well, but that's what I do. And whilst I love my knitting group friends, I think I'm going to sneeze. Sorry, had to sneeze. Not good. Knitting group, yes, at the pub. So I come home, I watch a podcast, and I feel over the past few months as though sorry, I can hear my children. They're playing libraries. It's half term, what can I tell you? Anyway, so I come home, I watch my podcasts, and I feel really part of the community. I've gotten so much out of it. Inspiration, comfort, friendship, laughs. I've recently started watching the Legacy Knits ladies. So funny. If you haven't watched them, go. Stop watching this. Go watch them. They're funny. Mother and daughter, so sweet. I want to move in with them. They all seem to live together in a house. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Hilarious. Anyhow, what I'm trying to say is this has become my knitting group. Podcasts, all of you guys. And whilst I might not necessarily have anything new to add or interesting, I couldn't figure out another way of joining in other than joining the podcast revolution. Not that it's a revolution, because everyone's been doing it for ages. I'm always a bit slow. Don't like to be bang on trend. Heavens good gracious. Anyway, plus the other thing that's held me back from podcasting is my excruciating habit of embarrassing myself in public. I will always be the one with the label from my jumper still stuck on, food on my face, my skirt tucked into my underwear. I mean, you name it, I've done it, and you just kind of got to weather the storm. So why not video my excruciating social inability for all of you to have a good laugh at? What do I want to add? Yes, the amazing community. If I can add something to it and pay forward the lovely, lovely, loveliness that you all bring into my life, then I'll be happy. Otherwise, you're just really going to have to take this as the ramblings of a self-confessed, yarn-hoarding, tea-drinking, gin-soaked cat lady. And have a laugh. That's what it's all about. Have a laugh. There's enough things to be miserable about. This isn't one of them. So, just checking. I did make notes. You wouldn't know. I think I'll show you the notebook. Oh my god, it's backwards. For those of you that can't read backwards, it says, I'm an average sized book with a huge heart. What's this that got it for me though? There is room for you in here. I hope there's room for me in the podcast community. We'll see. Oh yes, so I've said I'm going to hold myself to finishing a whip from the majorly humiliating basket of whippedness. Ooh, that's a good word. Anyway, we'll see what happens. What else do I like to do? I like to sew. I can't crochet. Oh well, I can crochet up and down. Sometimes a little bit side to side by accident, but not very well. I like to sew. I probably should go against the British grain and advertise myself. I have an Etsy shop. I started in September, I think I mentioned that already. I sew what I would describe as whimsical little bags, medium-sized bags, sometimes really big bags. I think they're sweet, and I'm really pleased that other people think so too. Every now and again I'll have a moomin bag in there. I love moomins. And yeah, so that's what I sew, generally speaking. I've never ever followed a sewing pattern. Oh no, I tell a lie. I made pyjamas for my children, not this Christmas, just gone, the Christmas before, and I had to follow a pattern for those, and they turned out all right. Being my children, they are of course both ruined, but hey, it was fun to make. But my plan is, it's half term, I want to sew a skirt. I've got a skirt pattern with pockets. That's not very descriptive, is it? I'll go and get it. Sewing. I was talking about sewing. I think this was on one of the first podcasts I started watching regularly, which you all watch. Kristen of Woollen Vine, and last summer she sewed this skirt. I think it was one of these. Anyway, I'm wanting to be a complete fangirl, creepy person, and sew one too because it turned out so well. But I've never read a sewing pattern, well, apart from the pyjamas I spoke to you about. So, fingers crossed. While I'm on holiday this week, I'm going to try. And at the very least, cut out the pattern pieces. I've washed my fabric. Oh, love, love, love. Might need an iron. Anyway, I figure this would be a really fun skirt. For those of you who don't live in the UK, or specifically the Tunbridge Wells area, Greater Tunbridge Wells area, I like white stuff. White stuff, white stuff. Everything's white stuff. Only in the sale though. Anyway, white stuffy skirt with pockets, hopefully. What else do I like to sew? Ooh, I am trying to teach myself how to spin. I bought a spindle from Deb of Fondant Fibre, who is so lovely, so generous, kind, very good at what she does. I was very lucky to be her Christmas swap partner, and she sent me a box of amazing things. Maybe I'll show those if there's another episode of this rambling. So yes, I bought a spindle and I've been practicing. I'm not very good, but I like it. So that's what I might be able to show you in the future. Podcasts I like. The Four Knits. Yarngasm. Tiny Paper Foxes. She makes some beautiful, beautiful things. And he's so enthusiastic about his spinning. Very inspirational. Eric of the Sticks and Twine podcast. He's hilarious. The Grocery Girls. New but lovely, lovely. I think I already mentioned the Legacy Knits ladies. Little Bobbins Knits. Stitched in Sweden. Mina Makes. Oh, and I just started watching Pin, Feather and Pearls and Lone Larch Designs, which, again, hilarious. Okay, so apologies for that break. My children decided it would be hilarious to creep in on me and stand there laughing. always encouraging. I should mention, yes, I think I did mention I've got 2 children, 2 girls, 7 and 9. The 9-year-old knits. I think I was talking about podcasts that I like. Yes, I was. Low Larch Designs. Now I think the lady that does Pin, Feather and Pearls, Candice, and the lady that does... Sorry. Giggling's got to be better than silence. Jenny, who does the Low Larch Design, and Lara of the 4 Knits. I think the 3 of them are like pals. They're all very, very nice. Very nice. Good to watch. Relaxing. Don't take themselves too seriously. I like it. So, hopefully, if this makes it out to you, I will have figured out my short row problem with my Waiting for Rain shawl. And perhaps, maybe, I'll see you again. I'm going to go